Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Before we start, I thought you might like to see the model show that I entered, and see some of the sights and sounds that were there, because it was a very good day. Enjoyed myself thoroughly, and some of the models on display were fantastic. So I might have missed a few out on my video journey. If I have, and anyone's watching, I apologize. But this is just a selection of what was there on that day, and then we'll get back to the modelling. So let's take a little excursion into the small spaces modelling show in Milton Keynes. So this is the outdoor tent, and it's quite a big show this year. I'm exhibiting, and we'll go through the exhibits so you can see what's going on. That's my table there, which you can have a look at later. But we can go through here into the main exhibiting room, and lots of things on show. So let's take a closer look at everything that's being exhibited today.
Yeah, you should something sorted out.
And I'll do it, and I'll do it, and I will do it.
Right.
I'll learn
That needs to go somewhere else.
and if you're here to visit,
Yes.
I'll charge you 20 quid.
Oh, 20 quid sounds good to me.
But if they want 2 times, they'll be about 60 quid.
Right, so here again, we're
Ian?
22:10.
Do you mind if I
For
move?
anybody in the side car park that
I
could
don't know,
move their
something like
vehicle,
this,
please
down
do
to
so.
there.
It needs to be
Otherwise
cleared
that's
for
that's
disabled
all fixed together,
parking,
so it's pretty
Oh,
solid.
is it?
Yeah.
especially in the space that's marked disabled parking.
Nothing falls off. He said. I'll just get this.
Hello, David. Oh, let's go for it, dude. See you anyway. Breakfast.
We're going to get our second one, our breakfast.
Yeah, I'm going to put this in my folder and her goods at the end of the day. They were selling at Calcutta, they were selling off screws, massive box. And I went through, they were on one screw. Yeah, I'm here. Harrow not Barnet, yeah.
When do you finish school?
Good, thanks, right? That's good. Oh, I bought one kit, Jeff. No, you've had one. Have you had one yet or not? Yeah. I've got Oasis. And
Yes. SPV inside and then it comes out.
Is it radio controlled SPV?
Brilliant. That's excellent.
I made that years ago.
I love those kind of little details.
And I got
That's beautiful.
Anybody here not got a label that should have one? Don't rush.
Week before, so that's a week less to build this thing. I've got to make it idiot proof, so you can build it. It's going to be made in unit parts, so you can just screw it together and bolt it together and whatever. And I said, right, contact Chris. Chris got me the gig, and I said, Chris, can you do back walls? Print them, back walls. Yeah, no problem. All sorted, and then tested them out. Everything worked. The prints worked. Minimal sanding needed. Colour was good. An Applejack worked perfect. So I went, right, everything's great. So contacted him. I says, are you?
It means they're going to get another $1 trillion money. But who are you going to have to front the films at the premiere? You know, a 3D model? No, CGI's alright in its best. So this sort of thing.
An automotive
automotive place, they have this primer mixed specifically for this job with 35% anti-aging. And normally agents works around about 15 to 20. I went 35 on this. So
It does look
no
matte.
shine at all.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want, and then consequently, after you've done all the work with your shading, you've got to seal it. And then I used the same matting agent again in the airbrush to seal that graphite in rather than use it in the... Yeah.
Free, please, clear. And B, your fire exits are clearly marked in the main hall. The large one, the best one is the one that goes out where the playground thing is, which is over, you can see there. Other official ones are by the toilet entrance and are just away. If you're in a small hall, it is through the door which will be open to the outside. And if you're outside anyway, well, just run. We'll let you know anyway. Yes, but yes, people are coming in now.
That music he had on yesterday, what movie is that? Do you know? Oh, I was going to say, right, I don't think I've seen it just because my ears on. A few minutes, not a problem, but incessant Tony!
Sorry?
DCS. Yeah, so you're talking mid-80s for that?
Yeah.
That was the original plaster cast stuff that he did before he said yeah.
Got yourself sorted, yeah?
Change it to your parents ago, but yeah, well, yes, parents got their council has them like to buy. And it's sold for over 10 times. Yes, I think what Mum finally won my dad over with, well, paying rent is dead money. I also recently attended one of my local residents' pressure group to oppose some building on my, but the building we live in is actually semi-rural.
Yeah.
Oh yes, so, but then again,
Well, let's see what...
but there's shed loads of empty and derelict properties.
That should be the
or places to be
priority.
converted,
Yeah.
to like get those up to scratch.
Rather than building new builds on...
And you have to demolish them, fill on the... Because they're proposed for between 500 and 1,000 new homes in the area.
Oh, we're inundated. Just a short of 1,000
Well, sometimes it's
And finally, this is my selection.
Back room with the camera and didn't get stopped at all. I wasn't here 2 years ago. You were outside? Yeah. I wasn't here last year because he was on the show. Yeah, I was here 2 years ago. Of course, that is all on Band I've had that but that price should crash when round 2 gets out. Good job with you guys.
Oh yes.
Yeah, great. Yeah, we are. 3 days. If we celebrate the 50th anniversary there. Go on, how many? 50. That's good. We've done 25, so that's good. We all show some years ago, I think. Whether it clashes, I don't know. I'm not sure. We did.
Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that little excursion. And as I say, back to the modelling. Now, the The theme for the next few months, I've decided, is going to be catch up, touch up, and finish. And by that I mean there's many models that I've started, well, many models that I've started and never really finished. And I'm going to finish them properly because I've decided that, well, I'm running out of space and I need to finish the models properly that I started. And this one is the case in point. Now, I've liked this one. It's a good one. It's not a bad one. But the finish on some of the areas was poor. So as you can see, I have taken away some of the areas and I'm going to finish it properly. And when I finish this one, I'm going to go over and look at some other models that I started and finish those off properly as well. So basically, this video is going to be a look back at old friends and putting them right. So no new projects as such, but finishing off what I started and repairing them and painting them and so on. So I hope you'll come along with me on the journey. Here we go. So moving on, you can see now the fabrication that I've done at the back. I've improved it. I think I've improved it. Obviously, I need to merge that in with a bit of primer so you can see it better. But I think that gives it a much cleaner line overall. Yeah, it makes it look cleaner and more functional. And I've also been working on the top here, giving it more paneling, better paneling rather than it was before, cleaning that up and putting more detail, more greaves along the top. So I will be doing that as well along the top there. I don't know what's causing those lines on my video. I think it's the fact that I've got this new yeah yeah, obviously it's a new light that I've installed, which is a kind of large LED lamp, and it's obviously functioning at a different frequency rate on the video, causing those lines. I hope it doesn't interfere with your viewing pleasure too much. I can always take it off, of course. But anyway, going back to the model. So that's what I've done so far. I will continue, obviously, working through it. But I think, as I say, those lines look a lot better now. And then we can start working on the bottom as well. I've got some ideas for that as well. That bottom fin. Right, okay, well, let's continue and see how far we can get. So a lot more fabrication now on the top, as you can see. And that's looking a lot better than it was before. Really happy with that structure now. I was looking. So basically just adding lots of greeblies and some detailing to bulk that out. And obviously I still need to fill it out. There's lots of filling to do. But yeah, that is looking better. Oh, that's looking a lot better. Put that light on there. You can see a bit more easier. So yeah, we'll be filling out some probes coming out from the back there a bit. But yeah, happy with that. That's looking the business. Okay, so yeah, we will continue filling in the little bits, the little holes, but the back is looking better. I'm not going to really attack the front because the front is looking okay. The next thing to do, as I said before, will be the bottom part there, which I call the bottom fin. But yeah, the back is looking better now. Right, onward and upward, let's continue. So this is the end of my construction for this weekend, and we'll just pan in on some of the details that I've started to get at the back, which now looks much better than it did before. As I say, still lots of filling to do, but you get the general idea of what I'm trying to achieve, and I'll be putting a bit more detail into the conning tower as well. But panning out, I'm happy now that that looks vastly better than it did before. And once it's been, once we have a bit of primer on it, it'll come together a lot. It'll come together nicely. And then again, as I said, we'll start on the fins at the bottom. But yeah, happy with how that looks now. So we'll continue. I'm thinking also of developing this area here because it's a bit flat and a bit has too much of a right angle. So I want to develop that area and give it more depth and texture there. But yeah, it's coming on nicely, and I'm happy with what it's looking like now. A vast improvement on what it was before. And this is what I'm going to be doing with the some other models as well, taking them back, re-looking at them, reworking them, because I think, as I say, I can do better from what they were initially. Right, onward and upward, and let us continue on the journey. So, moving on from the last post, as you can see, more construction along the back of the spine, the back spine. Now that all that will need now filling in and making sure that that looks straight, which I think it does. But yeah, I need to just fill that in, and then I'm going to be building out probes probably from the back there. And we've started on the bottom fin, as you can see. The other side is exactly the same. I've started to fill that in and make that look a bit better, and I'm much more happier now. It doesn't look so cluttered or busy. It looks more streamlined and more minimalist, which is what I wanted. And that fin looks much better. It'll need to be again filled in and just making it merge a bit better. But yeah, happy with that fin. And you can also see that I've redone the stand as well, putting in that bit of perspex and balancing the whole thing so that the ship looks like it's floating much better. So yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. That's how we've worked it out, and I think it's not looking too badly. So onward and upward. Let's continue. But that ship is now really looking much better than it did originally. So it's coming along. This is the start of another weekend. I'll probably only get the Saturday this time around to do a bit of work up here. But I have continued to add fabrication to the fins underneath, which is quite good. And also added more fabrication to the forward-facing probes at the front. I don't want to do too much more now, because it's looking a little bit too busy. So I'm going to curtail it there. But I think that just makes it look a little bit more interesting, adding a bit more detail, a bit more complexity to the front probes. So yes, I've mentioned the fins, and I have done more work at the back, which I'll just show you by turning it around a bit, and you can see, bring the into focus more there. So that's now looking better. Trying to avoid this crazy interference on my camera. There, so I've done more. I've actually put more filler along the sides, so it's looking better there. So a little bit more now, just to fill in all the gaps. But I think the general shape and everything is now in place. So we'll continue for a little bit longer. Then I'll start putting in the, I'll start painting it, putting the primer on, and then we'll think about washes and colours. But yeah, on the whole, that is looking 100 times better than the original design, and I'm happy with what it's looking like now. I'll probably do some backward-facing probes coming out there. And then I want to do something about the what this is, the shuttle bay. down there. I want to put some more detail there. There's other little areas which need detailing up, so it's to hide the sort of filler element. But other than that, yeah, we're coming on. So a little bit more work on this now, and then we'll. I think we can generally call it a day. Oh, yes, of course. There's that area there, and on the other side, which needs to be looked at. So, okay, perhaps not completed today, but we'll see. We're getting near. We're getting near. Right, onward and upward. Let's continue. Oh, I thought I'd show you my new tool that I've got. This is a square hole puncher, which enables me to now create little panels. So I can cut out a panel, cut a little square hole in it, and then with the insert that's come out there, place it on top of there. And what do I have? I have Star Wars like panels. And this is how they used to do it, obviously, on the actual original Star Wars models. So I'm really happy with that. This didn't cost too much. It's really for paper and cardboard, so it's a little bit, it takes a bit of elbow grease to punch holes in the plastic card, but it does it, and I can produce some nice paneling with it. So happy with that little purchase. I'm now consider myself a professional model maker because I have a hole puncher. Very good. You can get them on eBay, and you can get them in all kinds of different shapes, stars, circles, and so on. But if you request a square hole puncher, that's what you get. I think it was about £7. So, $6.50, something like that. Very well worth it. Anyway, that's my tool of the month. So that's Saturday finished. I might get a bit more done tomorrow, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm happy with what I have done today, which was concentrate on pinching off the fin at the bottom, which was basically tidying it up, putting in, filling it in, and so on and so forth, getting it a bit more detail. Looks looking good. And also starting work on the this area here, the top bit, as you can see, filling that out, making it more, giving it more detail and depth, because I didn't like the straight line that it had. So again, putting more detail into it. I'll turn it around so that you can see the other side of the ship, because I've been working on the other side as well. So that's that area there done, and I'll also be putting in various different little detailed greeblies in various points along the way, so to speak, just bulking it out a bit. But that's that side of the ship done, which I'm really happy with. That's looking okay. We'll just turn it round and I'll show you the other side. And the other side, and you can see again detailing, filling in and detailing the bottom fin, and then working on the top part here, getting in some more details along the top here, like that. So on that particular area. So more work to do, of course. It's funny that when you, as I've said before, I think this is like a jigsaw puzzle, and you put in a piece thinking that the piece is now complete, and then you see a gap and a space again somewhere else, which then needs to be filled. So you never quite complete it. The more you think you've finished it, the more another little space opens up. But we're getting there. We are getting there. So, as I say, I'm happy with that, what it looks like at the moment. And overall, I think the ship is taking on a lot more detail, looking a lot more impressive and epic than it did before, which is what I wanted to have that feel. Once again, as I say, once it's primed, and then it'll start to really pop, really come out. But yeah, happy with the work I've done so far today. And as I said before, it's a vast improvement on what the ship was like. And this will be the case with the other ships and the other models that I'm going to look at in the coming months. Take them off the shelf again, dusting them down and reworking them to produce better quality in them, because I've decided that I'd rather have say 15 really top quality models than say 30 which are sort of like mediocre but not quite getting there. So that's what I'm going to do. All right then, onward and upward. Let's continue with this particular build. So work continues on the ship, and we're now getting close to the end now. So as you can see, I have done some more work up the top there on the conning tower, and we're getting to the stage now where I need to start turning it over. I'll do a bit on the underside. Oh, and as you can see, I've also done some work on the bottom there. So I'm holding the light there. I'm holding a light here to try to make it more light, make it more visible underneath. See that I've started to produce some probes going backwards. I won't do too much though. And yeah, so what I'm going to do now is a relatively boring bit. I'm going to flip the ship over and fill in the underside, which won't take too long because there's not too much to do. And then I think we're coming to the end of it then. And yeah, it's all looking good. I've also decreased the height of the main stand here, so that the ship rests more horizontal than it did before, and I think that looks better. Right, let's continue. I think we're coming to the end of the fabrication now. I think we're nearly there. So here she is now with some primer on. I finished more or less the fabrication of all the new bits, and I'm pleased now with how it's looking. I think it's looking a lot better now than it did before. It's not looking as slapdash. It's looking more cleaner. Has a lot more cleaner lines to it. There might be a little bit more paneling to do just at the end there, some bits and pieces, but the paneling along the top, which is what I started out with initially, is looking a lot better. We're just getting a bit further so you get closer so you can see the top there. So that's looking good. Once it's got washes on, we'll have a better. We'll go through it in a better with some better shots. But it's looking really nice from that point of view on that side. I think the angles and the details are looking a lot better. Yeah, and it's looking more massive and imposing, I think. So all in all, I think that yeah, that has worked very nicely, and this is going to be the start, as I say, of a whole of a look at quite a number of old models that I've done, bringing them basically up to date. And because I started those old models when I didn't have the prerequisite skills, but now I think I have a better skill set. I can bring that better skill set to bear on the models themselves and produce what I think is better work, because I'm more confident in my modelling and sculpting skills than I was before. So no, this is the model with the primer on. So the next idea is now to think about washes and paint work, but perhaps just finishing off, as I said before, the back, just giving it just a little bit more detailing along the back there, because it's just a little bit bland. So I might just put a little bit more paneling and detailing on the back there. But apart from that, yeah, happy with that. That's looking really nice. Right, onward upward, we'll just tidy it up and finish the thing off. Well, right, I know I said I'd finished the fabrication, and I more or less have, but there's still details that need to be worked on, and one particular detail was the shuttle bay, which is down here, this area here. Now, I looked at it, and the more I looked at it, the more it was letting the whole model down. It wasn't very good. It's not very good at all. It's rough and ready. So I have fabricated a new shuttle bay. That's what I fabricated there. This will be a new one. It's going to join and it's going to be placed into position, and that's a much better looking shuttle bay, I think. Yeah, I've just given it a rough coat of primer just to merge it in with the rest of the model, which I'll then I'll do better. But let me put it into position and you'll see what it looks like. So I've just placed it into position there, It needs to be firmly fixed, and then just some pieces there just to marry it all in together. But that looks a much better shuttle bay, I think, and a lot more detail and works a bit more better, and the profile of the ship looks better. So yeah, so that's my new shuttle bay, which I've fabricated and I will put into position, and then again another final sweep of the model just to make sure that I have covered all the bases, so to speak, that there are no gaps, and the thing looks okay. For instance, when the shuttle bay's in position, there's still a bit of daylight poking through at the top there, so I'll see if that will continue or work, or if that works, or whether I need to fill that in, and also a bit of daylight underneath the shuttle bay as well. So you're just poking out there, which I need to look at. But other than that, I think that shuttle bay works very nicely and adds more detail to the ship. Right, let's let's continue. And so there's the new shuttle bay fitted in and merged in with the rest of the thing, and I think that now looks not much better. And yeah, it needs a bit of filler just around it, just to merge it in a bit more, just to make it fit better. But more or less, that's the fabrication done, and I've got rid of the daylight showing through as well. So happy with that. That's a good fit. And now we can continue with just as I say, filling out very little details now, just to make it look better. But that looks really nice from that angle. Yeah, fits nicely, and gives it a bit of and it gives it more scale as well. The scale is much better. Right, okay, let's continue, and I think we're nearing the end of the fabrication now. So I filled in the fin underneath, so now that looks better. So as I say, the final pass now will just be to go over it again, just looking at the final details, and then put a little bit more primer on it to merge it all in properly, and then we can start the washes and the paints. Now, I was actually toying with the idea of building up further hull shapes on the top here, but it's not quite working that way, and I'm going to leave that idea for another model which I want to work on, so which you'll see at on a later post. So we'll leave that for now, because I think if I overdo it, I'm going to start ruining it. And you've got to know when you've reached a point where the shape is going to be as good as it gets. But I think that is working very well as it is. So as I say, we'll just go through the final bits now, having a look, and I'll go underneath as well, and we'll have a look underneath just to make sure that I've filled in all the gaps underneath as well. I don't think the back area needs much more work now. I think that back area works okay, and yeah, it's looking all right. So yeah, as I say, we'll just turn it over now, go underneath it to make sure that the underneath is looking fine, and then we can start looking at the painting. Okay, so that was the final pass and the final bit of primer on it, and I'm calling it done. So all that now remains for me to do is to start the painting process. But the fabrication process is done. I am not going to continue it now, because you've got to know when to stop, as I've said before. But I'm really happy now. That's looking 100 times better than it did before when I first started this project of renewing and updating the ship, which is of course the the Sword of Vengeance. I think I call it the Sword of Vengeance. Yes, pretty dull. I'll have to look up my notes. But it was the Sword of Vengeance, and this is the Sword of Vengeance Mark II. So that's that side. What I'll have to do, of course, is to repaint the stand and tidy that up. I want to make it a shiny black stand, and then it's got the transparent bit there which holds it up in place, so the whole thing looks like it's floating, which it does. Happy with that. So typical, just as I was turning it round to show the backside, I knocked it against one of my boxes and took out one of the forward probes. So I won't lie to you. I thought, oh my God, disaster. But no, I've stuck the probe back on, so no damage done. We're okay, we're safe. So continuing with the little tour, there you are. That's that from that side again. And as I said before the little disaster happened, it's looking a lot better now. It's floating. It's sitting nicer, and it's floating nicer on the stand, which is good. I'll just show you the back side without breaking the forward probe, and that's the back side of the ship. And you can see the shuttle bay underneath, which is looking good as well. So yeah, getting back to what I was saying, I think that's looking good, and it works now on quite a number of levels. I'm happy now with how it looks, and along the top as well. Done quite a bit of work just to tidy up that top bit there, looking all right. On the spine of the ship, and I think from all angles, it's yeah, it's looking okay. So onward and upward. Let's start with the washes and the painting. And now what I'm going to do is keep it rather simple, but I want to do some stripes and some lines on it, and then dirty them down and corrupt them a bit. You do a bit of chipping on it as well. So let's start the painting. So there she is, all washed and with some texture put into it and dirtied down. All I need now really to do is to paint up the stand, which I will do at some point, but I've run out of time now because it's now Sunday, and that's the end of the week. That's the end of the weekend. So I'm going to call it done now. I'm happy with the construction. I'm happy with the way it's gone, and I'm happy with getting back and actually looking at that, getting the thing off the ground and produced, looking better, and yes, reworking it and giving it a more functionality, more cleaner lines, and so on. So yeah, that's come out. That's worked out really nicely, and it just proves that you can go back over old models and rework them, and never say never. Never say never that you can't go back to them and have a look at them again. Let's go and have a quick walk around, see what it looks like. It's got some nice lines, and some nice angles now, and the details really pop, I think. Shows it a bit better. Yeah, that's I'm happy with that. The way that the detail really shows up, the contrast and so on. That's nice. So there we are, guys. That's my pillar sword of vengeance. Done and completed, and really happy with that, with how it looks. I think after I've done the stand, it's certainly ready to be displayed at next year's Small Spaces model show. And this is the first ship in what I hope will be a series of ships, which as I say I'm going to rework. But it's also it's the beginning of a kind of future history, which I am kind of thinking about in my head, based on a scenario set 100,000 years in the future. So I'll more on that on the next model. But this will be this is the first in a series of ships, which will be part of that future history. But anyway, that's the ship, guys. Finished for now. So just the stand to do, but I'm happy with how it's turned out. So until the next time, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the excursion into the model show that I went to. And until the next time, I'll speak to you soon. All right. Bye for now, guys. Bye for now.